Boom, I think we're live. We're
Yeah,
live.
we're live.
We're live. What's up, everyone? BJJ Tech Nerd here. Today's special guest, Damian. Damian, how are you?
I'm good yourself.
Not too bad, my sir. Not too bad. I like to always ask how's the weather, but again, I have someone else from Montreal, so we know it's shitty weather today. So it's raining outside.
It's the story of our summer, I guess.
Yeah, pretty much. So I want to introduce everyone to Damien the way I see him. Damien is a sick athlete who's training all the time. I don't know if you even freaking sleeps, the kid. You're jacked as hell. You're an athlete in my eyes. So tell me, Damien, how the hell did you start in this crazy CrossFit world? How did you start? When and why?
Oof. How long do
Oof.
you have?
Let's go, man.
um,
I'm here.
I mean, I grew up in athletics. I played soccer, hockey, basketball, football, all
Hmm.
throughout my high school. And really, I narrowed it down to just soccer. So I played that for
Hmm.
like 20, 21 years.
Nice.
And then I just made the switch to. Okay, wait, this echoes really. Sorry,
Take your
my.
time. Don't go for it.
Wait, hold on. Hold on. Do you hear? Wait. Yeah,
No
this
worries.
is.
Yeah, I hear
Hello.
you.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, this because echo
Yes,
is like
sir. I hear you.
ruining my
All good.
next. Like I can't even think. Okay. Okay, perfect.
I can
So
edit. Don't
where
worry.
was
I
I?
can just chop this off. Don't
Soccer.
worry.
So I played soccer for a huge part of my life,
You soccer.
and actually played in Italy, and then made the transition in probably I
Oh.
was 21, 22. I just doing classic bodybuilding, and uh, at Sita Fall, it was kind of
Hmm.
like half bodybuilding and half CrossFit. And one of the trainers was like, "Why
Yeah.
don't you just try CrossFit?" And tried one workout, tried a couple, got lured in, and then got hooked, and then started researching, and then fell down the rabbit hole and got obsessed. And then it started with learning the fundamentals of Olympic lifting, gymnastics, and all that stuff. And then I'd say about 3 years in, I started really taking it seriously and doing double days, and then it's just immersed in that gym industry. So yeah, that's where it started. Yeah,
Damn. It's a crazy switch. I can kind of relate. I used to play soccer too, but like not only for a couple years.
a
Then I
lot of
reached
traveling.
AAA, got the invitation, but
Yeah.
it wasn't fun anymore. It was like it was too serious. I'm like, oh, I don't. A lot of traveling competitions. You had to travel to Ottawa, all this play. Like, oh god, I just want to score goals and have fun as a kid. Then I got turned off by that. So it's a different
Mm.
world. Like I went from like soccer to like bodybuilding, strength training, and now I'm here in jiu-jitsu. Whereas to you is like you've been doing soccer your whole life, and now you're like a monster at CrossFit
In
kind of
my
thing.
eyes,
It's like
it's
two different
two
worlds.
different
It's kind of funny how
sports.
you switched over though.
Soccer is very like aerobic and like long distance,
Other worlds.
whereas CrossFit hits a lot of different energy systems. So it's like strength, power, gymnastics, conditioning.
Yeah.
So it's fun. I
Yeah, it's fun too. I remember you get like a
yeah
lot of cardio from soccer. That's one thing that helped me
yeah.
with my jiu-jitsu. That all that
I
running
had
from
a and I
soccer,
had a
because soccer
running
players have this, like,
background,
this
so I
super
did a lot of
lean body,
track.
like
So
runners.
that
It's a different world.
transferred over.
Yeah, yeah. So there you go. And you train. You dive into this world of CrossFit, and you're at Seatel Fall. And I went to Seatel Fall too when I was much younger. And
Yeah.
it was an amazing gym. I remember they were like one of the first gyms to have like fake grass in the gym. And I used to love the Prowler and doing all that heavy lifting, and it's great. I
Yeah.
love the atmosphere there. And then one day I just found out it closed. I'm like, what the shit? It's impossible. How can CTL Fall close? It's like the best gym. So, and we're just talking like off the air. Like we're saying, like it's funny how like some things end and new beginnings can start. So
It
when
was
CTL Fall
it was
closed, what
sad,
was
to
going
be
through your
honest.
mind then?
Like there was a bit of a shift. Like some people left, some people stayed, but we were struggling to like keep our community together. And me and Francis decided to
Mm-hmm.
like, let's double down on this, and uh, let's see if the people will follow. And we spoke to Forge, and we made an agreement, and now we're here. So
That's it, man. Hold hands, dive in. Let's see what happens. That's
yeah,
awesome to do. I find that's
he
like, and
he's a
like you
childhood
knew
friend,
Francis before
so
all of
we
this,
played
like
soccer
before the gym,
together.
like you went
So
to.
yeah,
Oh man, even dude, the stars were aligned then, like because the way I see it, like that was, it's nothing
mm,
more than a perfect picture, really. You have you and your good friend from growing up. This tragic happened, this tragedy, and I was like, you know what, dude, let's
thank
jump in
you.
the fire, let's see what happens. And I think honestly, dude, you guys did a fantastic job because I come to your gym and I love it. Like I feel like it's another home for me. Even though I go train at another
Mm.
gym for jiu-jitsu, like I love the atmosphere. You get like my wife never trained before and she is super shy. Like now she comes to the gym, it's like, I love it here. When we miss a
I
session,
appreciate
she
that.
gets so upset. So I want you guys to understand like you're doing something right. So
Yeah.
yeah, you guys are on to the right path. And I know you guys just had a barbecue for your 6 month, which is a great. We had to miss it because our son had a barbecue. We had a soccer tournament. That whatever. It was fun, but we were sad to miss the barbecue for the gym. So, but you guys are on the right path, and it was sad that Seattle Fall closed, but like this is it's a new beginning, and we just like it's really good what you guys are doing. Like
Appreciate that.
honestly, the two good friends, like you know what, let's go in. It's awesome, man. I would say going alone
Yeah,
is it's
we have a
stressful enough. At
lot
least
of
you have
good
your
people
buddy
in
to
the
say,
right
"Hey guys,
areas.
let's go for
So
us. Let's do
for that,
this,"
we're blessed.
kind of thing. Yeah, oh for sure. And even like before Seats of All closed, though, were you? What was your like ambition? Was it to become like an athlete? Were you in school for something else, or
Um,
now you're a gym
I think
owner
I
and you're an
wear
athlete? What was the
many
plan before
hats.
this?
No point intended. I'm wearing a hat, but I envisioned life to just be immersed in athletics. Working with athletes, being in the gym. I study athletic therapy at Concordia, so it's a health and
Mm,
athlete. It's catered around uh, musculoskeletal and injury prevention, strength and conditioning, and rehab. So it's all in the field. I envision
mm-hmm.
like
It's in
this
the field, man.
huge performance center where like great minds can come together, and with CrossFit, high-end sports, recovery, performance, I just want to create a facility where all that could be enjoyed for the best of athletes, or even the general person who does their 9 to 5 and comes and train. Like they're a vital part of our community. So that's kind of what I envision my life to be, is just immersed in athletics, whether it be like St. Leonard soccer. My father's been president for St. Leo for 30 plus years, and you go through these
Oh, nice.
stages of life where like
Mm-hmm.
now I'm an athlete, I'm trying to pursue like high end CrossFit athletics. while going to school. But then I think the next stage is I'm
Mhm.
building this gym to give back to, old me, 15-year-old Damian who wants to train and doesn't know
Yeah.
like where to start. I want to just be that leader for like the new generation, if that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure, dude. Yeah, and I agree with what you said before. Like when we come to your gym, like example, I train jiu-jitsu and my wife doesn't train at all. So you have like when I walk in the gym, the way I see it is like you have different levels. You can have like I see it
Yeah.
sometimes. Like I walk in, I see it like John Luke, I see yourself, I see France. You guys are like top level. Like we get that intimidation kind
Yeah.
of thing. But like it's cool to see because there's like top level, but there's so many regular people who like 9 to 5. Like my
Mhm.
wife, I told, look, there's
Yeah.
regular people here. There's not like all superheroes like Damian and whatever. But there's normal people, and she goes, oh,
Yeah.
she's like, oh yeah, that's true. And then you have people like me outside of like CrossFit who finds that adding this boot camp style and maybe one day CrossFit to my schedule can actually help me with what I'm doing in jiu-jitsu. So you walk in there, it's like all is welcome. So that's another positive
Yeah.
thing I see. It's not just like, oh, it's only CrossFit kind of thing. There's so many things you guys offer, even boxing now too. That's
For
kind of cool.
sure. Like
That gets
people
people
want to
asking questions too.
learn,
I want to learn how to
and
punch,
we
kind
have
of thing.
amazing coaches, and you know the beauty of CrossFit is
Mm,
really the regular person could do a workout at like at the same time as an elite athlete, and it's like playing soccer with
mm-hmm.
Cristiano Ronaldo. Like you're just a regular person, but I'm training next to Ronaldo. And that's the beauty
Yeah,
of the classes. It's you don't have to be intimidated by Ronaldo. He's gonna teach you the
yeah,
techniques, and he's gonna give you pointers, and
no,
everyone's there to help each other out.
mm-hmm.
Nobody's ego takes over, and the people with the egos kind of weed themselves out,
No,
so it's a very like it's an inclusive and very
yeah,
motivating community where the best athletes could train hand in hand with a regular person who just wants to train so they can enjoy their weekend, maybe go for a drink. So there's a bunch of different people are there for different goals, and the beauty of it is we can all come together, no
yeah,
intimidation, no judgment, and just focus on our workout.
no, yeah, hundred
Yeah,
percent. Because even let's say me, if I start a CrossFit class and you're helping me, I'm with you. We're doing deadlifts, snatches, all this stuff.
that's fine.
I can do
Yeah,
the class. I won't lift nowhere near your weight. That's okay. I'm happy. But I'm gonna learn the movement. I'll still get a workout, and I'm gonna go out the class saying, "Okay, I did it." That's all. I think people get intimidated with the weight of it, and they focus too much on that. But like when we even come to the class, we're doing our class.
yeah,
We're having a hard time, but everyone's like giving high fives. Let's go! I love that. I freaking love that because then I'm also motivating my wife and you guys. I'm telling you guys. I know I said it before. You guys are doing a great
I
job. So you guys
appreciate
have that.
that.
There's like a spark in that gym when you walk in. Like everyone just feels super nice. That's freaking awesome. But Damien, you're an athlete as well now. You're a gym owner. What is your daily
Ooh,
routine?
that's
Just
a
like let's say
loaded
the
that's a
training wise.
loaded
How many
question.
times do you train in a week? Oof,
um,
between
it,
1 and 100. That's a
I'd
loaded question.
say
What's your
during the
average? Your norm?
season, it'd be more 3 to 5 hours a day, like
Hmm.
five days a week is kind of like my
Okay.
routine. I split it up in two
Okay.
sessions, maybe an hour or two in the morning. So like nine
Hmm.
to 12, I'll probably eat, chill out, or if I have school, I'll go head to class, and then I'll do like a night session, um, like 4 to 7,
Hmm.
depends. It really depends on where you are in the season and what you have to work
Yeah.
on.
Jeez.
But right now it's the off season, so I'll probably 2 or 3 hours max a day, because you still want to stay relatively fit. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to be.
So you're still
In
above like the
CrossFit, it's
average
different.
person
There's
who
so
doesn't train.
many
So that's
different
very good.
movements you have to be proficient at, and
Yeah.
there's not enough time to slack. So you always have to keep those movements fresh. It's like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. You got to practice and practice that repetition, practice the rolls, practice the locks. You got to get that time
Constantly.
under you. Same thing with CrossFit. If there's a weakness, you're gonna get exposed. So yeah,
Absolutely. So you're still in university, right? You're finishing.
depending.
So how much longer do you have?
Yeah, it's
Because you're
it's an
athlete, gym
interesting
owner, and
balance,
school. So
but
I get it's a crazy load though at the
I
same time.
figured
That's
out. I'd say another year and a half,
yeah,
two
for
years,
sure.
hopefully. Yeah,
Okay, that's good. Hey
social
man, I went to
science.
when I
Yeah,
went to college. My program was was it the basic one, science, social sciences? Is
yeah,
yeah, it's 2 years, right? But I was working
yeah.
almost full time. So my 2 years probably took 4 years. So there's
Mm.
nothing to it. It's like your priorities. You want to finish school right away, or
And I
you're
don't even
working, or like
think
there's no.
I
You
would
have to find the balance
excel
that
in
fits
just
your needs.
doing
So
one thing. I'd get
it
bored
happens.
or overwhelmed, or just I'd lose interest if I just did school. So I like the juxtaposition of like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, I can train now. Oh, I'm heading to
Mm-hmm.
school. Oh, I have to gym stuff to do. Like I like to be busy, but not spread too thin busy. Like
Yeah.
I feel like I'm
Mm-hmm.
still hitting all the stuff I need
Yeah.
while still being efficient, you know.
Mm. But the goal is that, let's say when you finish school, the go-to plan, the 5-year plan you have in your
Yeah.
head is to really take athletica to another
Uh,
level. Is that your vision, or do you have
right now,
other
there's
something
no
else in
plan B.
or like a
It's
plan B in your
a
head?
3 to 5 year project of,
That's good.
you know, growing our team, growing our members,
Mm-hmm.
expanding the space, uh, implementing in different facilities and people we want to work with, and just growing the name locally and even internationally, selling online programming, and just our main product is the
Yeah.
CrossFit, but
Mm-hmm.
also, branching out to maybe combat sports. I love soccer, so maybe finding a place with a soccer field inside. That'd be my huge goal. But there are also steps to this,
You
so
never know,
we're gonna
man.
slowly build and trust the process. So yeah, yeah,
Oh, for sure. And there's nothing wrong with offering more than just cross. You can be specialized in
mm,
CrossFit and offer so many other programs. Like our gym, we're specialized in jiu-jitsu and MMA. So mostly jiu-jitsu, but we have boxing classes, we have Muay Thai classes, we have like a boot camp as well,
yeah,
type of style. They offer different things like for different people. Like sometimes people want to learn jiu-jitsu.
exactly.
Some people don't want to be touched. They want to go just for the exercise of boxing. That's okay. So you guys can
Mm,
offer more because
that's
you're gonna have
fine.
clients
Yeah.
who are like my wife right now. I don't think she's into the idea of CrossFit. I showed her a video.
Yeah.
I showed her a video. She's like, nope. So she loves her boot camp. So I'm like, stick with boot camp. But I know in my heart one day she's gonna take it to another level. But
Yeah.
for now, she's into boot camp. And that's okay. That's all right. There's perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with that. So, Damian, as you're training, going to school, running a business, what is your how do you maintain your physique? Like what are your favorite foods? What do you eat? You gotta to be jacked like that, you gotta eat some good foods. I know that. It doesn't come with a magic pill. Everyone thinks there's this magic pill out there. There isn't. Maybe there is. It's called hard work, but What is your
Oof.
go-to food? Your
I keep food
specialized foods you like
very
for training?
simple. So breakfast is
Food.
mainly eggs. I'll make like different
Mm-hmm.
variations of egg muffins or like yogurt. I
Yeah.
recently started incorporating yogurt, so I got to eat more protein. So yogurt and fruit. During the day,
Mm-hmm.
I'll snack on, like these go-go
Nice.
squeezes. Yeah, they're fast and they keep you fueled.
Yeah, my son has that too.
Doesn't make you feel lethargic, and
So
I know it's just
it's a
sugar,
hack though.
but
It's good though. I get it.
so this I try to keep
No.
like lunch
Yeah.
fairly light. So maybe like, you know, a bit of rice, some chicken, some meat, and then at night I'll really like carb up and fuel up with
Mm.
some like a big steak with some sweet potato, and then I'll have like my protein. I make like this protein pudding as dessert. So I'll just, if I'm missing any calories, I kind of adjust. So I'm
Nice.
floating around, I'd say four to 5,000 calories a day, depending on where I'm in the season.
Calories. Yeah.
But it's really simple. If you keep it simple, and I really don't eat anything extravagant, and I keep it fairly the same every day. So basically,
Nice.
salt and pepper,
Tomahawks
throw it
every
on the
tomahawk
grill,
steaks every day.
medium rare, and eat it
But
all.
there has salt and pepper. That's it.
That's the best way to prepare a steak.
But there has to be some. Is there any junk
I'll
foods that you like give you a hard
I'll
time?
binge
Or
and
like you're like, I
crave
need this type of food
sometimes.
sometimes for cheat days. Do you
Um,
have cheat
but
days as
I don't
well?
really have a
No,
crazy
we all do.
sweet tooth. I'm not a big candy guy or cake,
Okay.
but I like my fat food. So like a nice dirty burger with some mac and cheese. I love that. Or like a poutine. Oh, yeah. Poutine, chez
Yeah, for
Toussignan,
sure.
poutine.
We're in
Yeah.
Montreal. It's like religion.
Yeah.
Specific, very specific. And now with CrossFit, I'm sure you're gonna have like other goals in mind. So what are your goals
Right
now for
now,
CrossFit? Like
the
what are you
goal is the CrossFit
what was the
Games.
big
So
goal
I've
for CrossFit for
made
you?
it to the semifinals, which is like the
Mm-hmm.
step right before the CrossFit Games. And I missed
Mm,
out on the CrossFit Games by
yeah.
probably 7 spots in 2022. So now the goal this year is to just, I'm doubling down on CrossFit. I'm
Okay.
kind of taking a couple of classes this semester off to like focus on training and getting that volume so that this year I
Mm-hmm.
can make a huge push to make the CrossFit Games in August.
CrossFit Games. How you qualify?
So yeah, there's these stages in the CrossFit Games where we'll start off with the Open. The Open is kind of like this inclusive thing where everybody can do it. It's like we all do it here at the gym.
Yeah.
And then it's kind of like this worldwide community event. And then
Mm-hmm.
they take top 10% of those athletes and they go to quarterfinals. Quarterfinal is still done at your gym. Just the workouts are a bit more extensive. They're a bit more complicated and high, caters to weed out the people because they want to find the fittest. So,
Mm-hmm.
and then once you make it to semifinals, which is they take, I think this year they took 60 people in North America in 2 regions, and basically those 60 people go into an in-person competition, which are called semifinals. And so you compete in semifinals, and then depending on where you are in the world, they take like a weighted average, and then let's say this year they take out of 60 spots, they take top 12 go to the CrossFit Games, which is the 40 best women, 40 best females and males, and they compete in the CrossFit Games. That's like the pinnacle, the highest achievement you can get to in a sport. So I made it to the semifinals. So right before the
Nice.
CrossFit Games, and I had to place top 5, and I placed 12th out of 30 people. So I missed out by 7 spots.
Okay, okay.
Which is not, well, it's still a huge leap in fitness,
For
but
sure.
it's a very realistic and achievable goal in my head. So I figured in this year I might as well just double down and focus, kind of like put all my eggs in one basket and just
Yeah.
make a run at this.
Just got a small taste of it.
Yeah,
Awesome. Now you got that hunger in you. And
yeah. I
I see those videos of you training. God damn, the skip rope. I can't skip, so whoever can skip is like it's super impressive for me. When you skip, you look like a boxer. So like shit, it's impressive.
I didn't grow up skipping, so I really had to teach myself how to skip. I never skipped, so
And when you're doing these like these events like CrossFit games or like the semis and all that stuff, do you know beforehand what kind of events they are, or is it just like random kind of thing, or you like know like a couple hours before?
so for the semifinals, probably 2 weeks out, or a week and a half
Okay,
to 2 weeks out.
okay, so you can train a bit.
Versus,
Okay,
yeah, so you can kind of anticipate, kind of lead your training up to prepare for those specific events. Versus the CrossFit Games is kind of like a bit of the unknown and unknowable. So
mm,
some events get released the day of, some events get released like on the floor. It really depends, because the CrossFit Games is a whole different animal. It's probably 13 to 15 events over like 4 to 5 days, where these athletes are pushing themselves to like the absolute limit. They're doing crazy events, swimming, running, lifting insane weights, you
yeah.
name it. They try to test it in a spectacle. So it's kind
Yeah.
of like, it's kind of interesting. If you have time, you want to check it out on
Oh,
Netflix.
it's in my. I've watched some CrossFit games in the past. They're freaking intense, and it's in my list in my head. Like one day I'm gonna give it a shot.
Yeah.
But I was also saying like thinking like when you do CrossFit, there's like not an area where you can like example. Let's say you're weak in deadlifts. Like you can't be weak in deadlifts. It's like part of the CrossFit games because CrossFit you have to be like 100% at every movement, like every. That's why it could be so random. You don't know what they're throwing at you.
Oh,
So if you
hello.
reach an event, yeah, I hear you. If you reach an event, oh, I think we froze again.
Yeah, sorry. I think you cut out there.
Yeah, it's all right. We can edit it. But I was trying to say like when you do CrossFit, there could be like you can't skip on like let's say deadlifts because deadlifts, let's say example, is a big part of let's say CrossFit, right? So you can't like cut down on one exercise. You have to like almost master every known exercise, which is kind of challenging too, right? Like do you find you have a weakness in one or
Yeah.
like something that you tell yourself I need to improve myself on this exercise? Is there something that you find yourself weak at, or what's your weakest exercise? Let's say what's your strongest, your most happy, if there is one.
It's not even per se like a specific exercise that's weak. It's more like I'm not strong
Mm-hmm.
enough relative to the field.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm a
Okay.
bit under the average of weight wise. So you're just naturally you're competing. Heavier guys lift heavier weight, and lighter guys are able to run
Mm-hmm.
longer. So that's why you see a skinny marathoner and you see a
Yeah.
very huge strong man. And CrossFit's like this hybrid of the in between athlete. But now
Between.
the sport is getting really strong. Guys are like 6 feet, 200 to 210 pounds. So they're big boys. And I
Sure.
think my biggest weakness overall is anything related to strength and power, because the bigger guys will obviously push a heavier barbell faster,
Struggle.
stronger. They'll push on a bike or a rower on a machine. They'll have more output. So those energy systems I kind of have to work on, heavy barbells and heavy machine work. I'd say that's my biggest weakness relative to the top guys. Because to the average
Mm-hmm.
person, they see the weights on the bar and like, wow, this guy is strong. And I am relatively
Yeah.
strong. I am relatively strong, but when you look at relatively speaking to the best in the world, then I'm not strong enough. So yeah.
Yeah, I think people also mix up like strongman competitions with like CrossFit, because strongman,
Yeah.
they're just going for the max, the one PR, the personal record, and that's it. So their physique, their structure is completely different sport. What people don't understand about CrossFit, even when I do boot camp, is like, yeah, even if I have like 20-pound dumbbells on me, and some guy can lift or press 40-pound dumbbells, it's not the point of the weight. It's like, try and do that for 5 rounds while
Yeah.
you're doing another 5 exercises. I don't think people understand that concept yet. So yeah, my mind gets blown too sometimes when I'm like training boot camp kind of thing.
Well, that's the fundamental principle of training
But
and intensity. They're inversely related. So you're
yeah,
not able to hold a sprint for a marathon pace. That's why it's called a sprint. A sprint requires maximal intensity for a small duration of time. If you're sprinting a long duration, it's hypothetically impossible. And same thing for strength. The big guys lift the heavy weights. The mass moves mass. It's more. I like to tell people that CrossFit's like this perfect balance of science and like kind of like this superhero of like, yeah, they're not the best at any one thing, but they have a huge variety they have a huge toolbox that they can go get. They have a bit of high skill gymnastics. They can lift a heavy barbell well. They can do nasty intervals of just cardio intervals. They can swim, run, climb stuff, move odd objects, so it's kind of like this. It's kind of how
yeah,
everyone should kind of idealize their life, because yeah, the strong, like isolating the strongman or just a strongman, or I'm just a runner, or I'm just a swimmer. That stuff is fun, but for the general
yeah,
population, they don't want that. Like somebody coming into our doors, oh yeah, I just want to run. People are gonna get bored of that. So it's fun to like
yeah, for
mix it
sure.
up and like, oh wow, one day I'm chucking a heavy barbell and doing some pull-ups. Oh, the other day we're working on our gymnastic skill. Oh, the next day, like yesterday, we did running intervals. Like the workout was literally 400 meter, 6 times 400-meter run with 1 minute rest, and you're sprinting those 400 meters. Like that's a part of
Yeah,
fitness that's a tool of fitness that people can go get. So it's super
yeah, for
hybrid,
sure.
and it's almost like it's the people's program. Like if you're like not an average person, but if you want a good, well balanced program, I feel like CrossFit's almost the program for you, because it touches so many things to where you don't get bored. You're always stimulated. You're not always progressing. There's obviously these
Yeah,
pitfalls that you'll hit, or the genetic
yeah,
barriers you'll hit, but it's fun, and you do all that with an incredible community. That's like a recipe for success. It's just fun, and you see it in the class, like watching like a good,
oh,
like
for sure.
a highly energetic CrossFit class. There's nothing better than like people motivating each other, helping each other out, people lifting weights, getting PRs, and it's just good vibes.
No, for sure. And I'll be there tonight with my wife, so we'll get our
Awesome.
workout later. Yeah. So before we end off, Damien, I want to ask you, what is one of your favorite quotes you live by for training or in life?
Oof.
Something that motivates you. That
Oh man.
I asked John Luca. He said chip away was his, so you can't say that one now.
Yeah,
or you could.
that's his slogan. That's why I don't. It's not as if I have like a quote that I have on my wall and I pinpoint and I'm like, wow, like I need to live by that. But there are some videos. There's some scenes in movies or whatever that I refer to every time I'm like searching for motivation and like. But honestly, well, there's one. This is the hard one. Whenever people are suffering, or whenever it's an ongoing joke. Like people are tired in the gym, and I just go up to them and I whisper in their ear, "If it was easy, everyone would do it,"
Yeah.
and I just walk away. So you know, in order to like get something fulfilled out of your life, you almost have to like suffering is almost a byproduct of success. Like you kind of need it. But for me, it's just, do I want to look back on my life and have any regrets or any what ifs of like, oh wow, I'm 50 years old. I should have, trained that extra 2 years. Now that I look back, I should have done it. Maybe I could have made. I don't want to look back and say, shoulda, woulda, coulda. I just want to know definitively, like, I'm putting all my eggs into one basket. And if I'm not happy or if I get injured or whatever, or so be it. But be proud of the effort you're putting into this one thing that you really prioritize now, and then see where life brings you. So for me, it's almost like the regret of like, I kind of had this picture in my head of like my friends sitting around the campfire when we're 50, drinking beer, and like, the stories you tell yourself around that campfire. Like, oh, remember when I was 20 something years old trying to make the CrossFit Games, and hopefully I had made the CrossFit Games. So, just having cool stories to tell and being an inspiration for hopefully my kids when I'm older.
Absolutely. That's it. I think it's more of a mindset than a quote than anything. So
yeah,
that's good.
It's not just one thing. I'm not even into like the big motivational stuff. Like motivation comes within, and everybody interprets motivation differently. Some people are like fed up of it. You're like, oh, okay, enough with this motivation crap. Other people use it for fuel, but it all depends on how you're able to like mix it up and turn it into fuel for your own life. Some people, whether it's the gym life, an athletic pursuit, a business, being a better father, a husband, whatever it is, people need to take that motivation and express it in their best possible way. So for a long answer, I'm sorry, there's no magic quote.
Well, I think another way to say it for me as well, for being a dad and everything, like the way I see it, I've been learning now, it's like motivation is temporary, discipline is an investment. It's forever. So that's the way I see it
100%.
now.
That's a good one.
I see it as.
Yeah.
So, Damian, I want to thank you again for coming on my show. I will probably see you later tonight.
Yeah, I'm
bringing the guns here.
Now, but
sorry?
Yeah.
You'll be at the gym, or you?
No, I'm heading out.
Okay.
I'm leaving you with the youngster.
All right, I'll show all the youngsters how it's done then.
Show them how
Old
it's
man
done,
strength. Old man strength.
Hell yeah, man.
All right, guys. Thank you again. My buddy Damian, guys. This is BJ Tech Nerd. Have a good one.
Take care, guys.